Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Carlson. I'm the Senior Associate Director for Dining and Nutrition at the University of Arizona. I'd like to welcome you, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about navigating dining on campus, kind of what dining might look like this fall as we move to opening all of our restaurants in light of COVID, as well as what nutrition looks like at the University of Arizona. So we'll go ahead and get started. I'll start off just talking a little bit about navigating dining, and then we'll move into nutrition. So navigating dining, we went ahead and we created a program called Dining Smart to ensure that folks kind of had an idea of what types of things we would be working on as we started to reopen. SMART is an acronym that stands for Sanitize and Clean, Maintain Social Distancing, Accommodate Dining Offerings, Require Employees Follow COVID-19 Guidelines, and Tech-Driven an Approach. So I'll touch on a few of those different areas. One of the first thing I want to point out is that we will have many restaurants open. Virtually all of our restaurants will be open. So there's kind of an exhaustive list of everything that will be open. So just so you have an idea of different areas that you can go to visit. What's changed with our offerings due to COVID? So we've done a lot of different things. If you've been out to restaurants, you've probably seen, what types of things are being mitigated there, and we're doing a lot of those same types of things. So self-service areas will modify to full service. So no buffets this fall. We do have one location over at Honors Village that is normally full. It's normally self-serve, and it's all you care to eat, and it will develop into a full service restaurant. So the employees will be serving everything. There will be no self-service. Salad bars are prepackaged options only. We've eliminated all of our condiment bars that have things like creamers and sugars, ketchup and mustard. For drink dispensers, it's only new reusable cups allowed. We don't allow personal cups to be used, and there's no refills from the same cup. Pre-wrapped straws, sealed flatware, produce and bakery items are pre-wrapped. All sampling has been paused. And then we're offering some cool high-tech vending options that I'll talk about a little bit more as we move through. But I wanted to kind of give you a shot of what one of the locations in our food court looks like. This is, we have a lot of signage and a lot of sticker decals on the floor that kind of indicate where you should be standing. So this is IQ Fresh that features a lot of wraps, salads, and smoothies. And this is the beginning of their line. It cues where you should be standing for that 6 feet distance with the goal of moving people through pretty effectively through these lines. We'll also have some waiting areas. So if you're looking for, how do I pick up my order? I've placed my order. We're going to have waiting areas that are cued as well for 6 feet distance. So there'll be different areas with hanging signs that will say waiting area for Chick-fil-A, for example, or waiting area for IQ Fresh that we just saw. We've also installed some pickup windows. So kind of those sliding drive-through windows we have for walk-up. So we've added those to a variety of different locations. Einstein's in Rich Urban Market and Starbucks Bookstore all have windows for your pickup of freshly pressed juices or your bagel or your Frappuccino. But then we've also added 2 other markets, the Arizona market and Highland market, where you would be able to go in to the window and pick up some types of bundles that might be grocery shopping opportunities. So think of things like a wellness bundle that might include a can of soup, some saltine crackers, and some juice, or it might be a study bundle or a movie night bundle, those types of things that you'll be able to order. So all of those will be available through Grubhub. And so I would highly suggest that you go ahead and download that Grubhub ordering app because it'll be super helpful to allow you to order things and then skip the line to go ahead and pick up. We also have some smart locker pickup areas. So if you think of kind of those Amazon smart lockers that you can pick up orders, we'll have that for food. So IQ Fresh and On Deck Deli, you'll be able to select that you want to pick up from a smart locker. You'll be notified when your order is ready. You'll go ahead and scan your barcode at the smart locker, and it'll light up one locker, allowing you to access your food there. We've also shifted some mobile pickup to allow for more density for folks waiting in line to get food and less density for people picking up food. So we've converted one of our restaurants into a mobile Grubhub pickup, and that is specifically for Chick-fil-A, Core, and Sabor, where you can go ahead and head to that direction instead of going into the food court to pick up your order. Okay, so then we've got some new technology that we're working on. These are already installed at the Student Union. One of them is Sally, the salad making robot. She actually is really cool. She makes salads, but she can also make hummus bowls, grain bowls, and yogurt bowls. Right now we've got her set just to be making salads, but pretty much you just order from the kiosk. You insert the bowl and it will spin around and make an Asian chicken salad, for example, or a Cobb salad, for example. So really neat, delicious salads. All of the items that are in Sally are produced in our production kitchen, freshly made every day. Sally will give alerts to the staff if, for instance, we're out of romaine lettuce and we'll have to go refill her. So, so really neat to see. She's located just by Enrich Urban Market in the food court. We also have Costa Coffee. So this is an espresso making machine that makes anything from Americanos to blended drinks, really delicious coffee. And so we just had Costa installed last week, and this is over at Global Center in the Park Mart. That's there, open for a good amount of time, I believe 7 a.m. to 1 a.m. So lots of opportunity to get a cup of coffee there. This is a picture of Sally that's up in the food court, just so that you have an idea of what it looks like live. That canister off to the right will spin, showing all of the ingredients. And you can even select, you know, if you want the dressing to be lighter or if you want to exclude an item, you can customize your salad as well. One other thing that we're just getting installed this morning, I just was up there taking some pictures of our smart lockers. So this is what they'll look like. They will indicate if you're picking up from red Wildcat West or blue Wildcat West. And so you'll know which set of lockers to go to. You scan your code again and it'll light up which locker you're supposed to select from. So I want to shift and just talk a little bit about nutrition programming that we've offered. About 6 years ago, I was given the awesome opportunity of being the first ever registered dietitian to work for the Student Union and Dining Services. And I've kind of morphed my role into overseeing all of dining, but nutrition is of course very near and dear to my heart. So I kind of just want to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we participated in. So Partnership for a Healthier America came from the Let's Move initiative from Mrs. Obama. And it kind of started off as more of a fighting childhood obesity, but they decided to extend it to campuses. And so about 4 years ago, we became one of 38 universities to commit to become part of the Healthier Campus Initiative. It requires a 3-year commitment to meet 23 different criteria. About 2 years ago, we were awarded a Healthier Future Award. We were one of 3 universities to complete ahead of schedule, a full year ahead of schedule of all 23 competencies. So when I got started, we really didn't have a whole lot of programming going for nutrition, and so kind of a blank canvas. I thought it would be real important to start off with a nutrition philosophy. And that philosophy I called Enrich, which basically stands for nutrient rich. And it kind of migrates the Healthier Campus Initiative along with Menus of Change, which is a Culinary Institutes of America and Harvard kind of conglomeration that talks a lot about healthier options as well. So it's a 9-point criteria that we always think about when we're opening a restaurant, when we're kind of rearranging a menu, and when we're incorporating new recipes as well. A good example is that IQ Fresh that offers breakfast bowls. We usually have a sweet potato mash or a regular Yukon mash that we would use as the base. This year we'll be featuring cauliflower rice as another option. So just trying to infuse more fruits and vegetables as well as whole grains, healthier fats, lean proteins as well. About 5 years ago, we became one of 12 universities to participate in the FAIR pilot, the Food Allergen Research and Education pilot for universities. This was a great opportunity for us to really see what we were doing well and where we could improve. We were able to complete all of the requirements there. I became a food allergen and celiac master trainer. We've trained over 125 of our staff on food allergen procedures and protocols. We've also won some awards in the way of allergens as well. AllerTrain, which is a large group that actually trains for allergens among universities and restaurants, gave us the distinction this last year for best overall food allergy program for universities in the nation. So really great to see that we were awarded that. Off to your right, you'll see a food allergen kit. And we use these in every restaurant. This is very specific to if somebody comes in and says they have an allergy, we would use this food allergen kit to prepare their meals so that we know we're reducing the risk of cross contact. So in this kit might be bowls, might be tongs, it might be a spatula, it might be a knife, cutting board, skillet, whatever is unique to that restaurant. And then after it's used, it would be washed in clean, hot, soapy water, sanitized, and put away for the next guest that has a food allergy. So we have these things in place to help folks, reduce their risk if they do have a food allergy. Food forward, we wanted to make sure we were addressing plant-based options. So about, again, 4 or 5 years ago, we became one of 15 universities to participate in the 2-day plant-based chef training. So we made everything from breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, street food, desserts, all plant-based. Nothing had animal product in it. So it really helped our cooks and our chefs to kind of think about the way that they're preparing food and how delicious things can be even as a vegan option. And so really help to broaden our perspective with plant-based options. So we certainly always have a plant-based option where there's a meat-based option in any location. So we also work obviously with the athletes, and so we needed to be able to address physically active students and then athletes. And so when I talk to coaches and strength and conditioning coaches and trainers and just kind of what are your pain points, they talked a lot about the need to get good sources of carbohydrate and restore glycogen and aid in endurance. They talked about, obviously, we're in the desert, so we need to be able to hydrate. We wanted to be able to reduce our risk for injury, and if an athlete or a physically active student is injured, we wanted to be able to allow them to bounce back a little bit more effectively. We wanted, obviously, brain power because these are students. They need to be able to concentrate when they're in the classroom, when they're training, and then when they're competing. And then lastly, we wanted to be able to build lean muscle and also repair lean muscle and boost immune system as well. So I thought about it for a while, and you can guess that I did an acronym after I talked to you about the Dining Smart acronym. And so I created an acronym for this one too. I call this one Eat Like a Champ. And CHAMP is an acronym that stands for carbohydrate, hydration, anti-inflammatory, mental focus, and protein. And the idea behind it is that the athlete or the physically active student would probably think about it and try and choose all letters, make sure that they're incorporating everything in one meal. But depending on what they're up to, they might focus on certain letters. So for example, if they're an endurance athlete, they might focus more on the C's and the H's. If they're injured, maybe more on the A's and the P's. If they're having trouble focusing, they might focus more on the M's. And so just kind of depending on what they're up to, they'll focus on different things. But we had a little bit of fun and we created some things that actually contain all 5 letters. So off to the right, you'll see our CHAMP smoothie that has all 5 letters. This is a smoothie that's actually featured at IQ Fresh, that restaurant that I showed you in the food court. But we also have CHAMP bars and we have CHAMP mix. We also talk about CHAMP superfoods. So for instance, blueberries would have the C, the H, the A, and the M. And so we're just missing the P, but if we added Greek yogurt or if we added cottage cheese to those blueberries, then we would have a complete CHAMP. So I work closely with physically active students helping to identify what these items might be and just help to improve their performance. So a while back, I talked to my boss about trying to build kind of a nutrition studio where we could kind of highlight all of these things that we're doing so that folks were informed. And we talked about it for probably a year. And finally, we were able to open a market that's actually, again, in the food court, just by those smart lockers that I described. And it's called Enrich Urban Market. So it kind of is, emphasizes all of those different types of criteria, that 9-point criteria that kind of, encases that philosophy. So in this location, you'll see things like fresh pressed juices, freshly ground nut butters, probiotic yogurt, and then also a lot of grab and go types of things. So different types of produce, a lot of reheatables or salads, as well as grocery items. So all foods that are in this location have to be approved by me as the dietitian. But then also, we really pay attention to making it affordable. So we want to make sure that healthy is achievable and cost effective for the student. So we submitted this one for an award, and we were awarded the silver for best retail concept in universities in the nation back in 2017. And so that was pretty cool because it didn't have to be a healthy option. It just had to be a new sales, a retail sales concept. But we were awarded that a few years back. We do have a nutrition website that lives just off of the Student Union website. You'll see that there's a kind of a list of things going across the top, programs, the different types of things that are featured, some of the stuff that I just talked about. Dietary needs, if you do have a food allergy or celiac or have questions about dietary needs, you can go to that area and it'll kind of specify what types of things we can accommodate and help with. And then we also have a nutrition calculator. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I know folks are real interested in what's in their food. And, you know, sometimes it's calorie counting, sometimes it can be carbohydrates, but then it also could be allergens as well. So this is kind of what the nutrition calculator looks like. And it will help you to identify, obviously, all of the nutrition facts. But then you'll also see down here at the bottom that it will call out different types of icons. So vegetarian contains soy, contains wheat. And so those are real important for folks that might have a food allergy or have some questions about that. We also have a couple other icons. This H2 icon is a healthier habit icon. So it helps to guide if something's healthier. So we have a specific criteria for that. We've actually looked at our convenience stores, and you'll see some H2 tags on different items there. I think we've identified about 1,100 items that do have that icon indicating that they're a healthier habit. So if you're looking for something healthier in our convenience stores, you can certainly look for that. And then the other icon that I wanted to highlight was the well spent. So this is the criteria for healthier habits, but it's also less than $5 to purchase. So it just kind of helps to guide if somebody's on a budget or just trying to be mindful about what they're spending, then they can certainly look for that well spent icon in the nutrition calculator as well. The nutrition calculator is available via a desktop, but it's also an app that if you do just a search for University of Arizona Nutrition Calculator, you'll be able to download that. And so that's certainly readily available for you. Last thing I wanted to talk about was giving nutrition education as well as culinary education. So I worked with our senior executive chef, that's him in the white coat, Michael Omo, and we created a plant-based culinary workshop. We were able to highlight a series of different items throughout 2 years of different classes. And, you know, things like breakfast basics. We did one on Mediterranean food. We did one on root to stem, making sure that you're using all parts of plants. And so Michael would do a lot of talking about the different recipes, you know, how to prepare something, and I would infuse a lot of the nutrition information on why things are important. And we went ahead and submitted this one for an award as well. And we were awarded the gold for most innovative nutrition and wellness program in the nation. And this was back in 2018. So really cool to get that distinction. It was a lot of fun doing that. What was a lot of fun with this one too is that students could use their meal plan. They're getting a meal out of it, so they could pay for the class, get the education, but then also get a meal. And so that just kind of gives you a little bit of a snippet of kind of navigating dining and navigating nutrition as you come on ground to the University of Arizona. That's my email address. If you have questions, please feel free to email me. I do have a nutrition coordinator that works for me. So if it's a nutrition-based question, I might hand your questions off to her. But happy to engage in any questions that you have, any concerns. Really look forward to seeing you on campus as well as your students. Thank you.